Rob Lowe. Look at this. Rob Lowe, I've been watching you in movies since St. Elmo's Fire, probably.
Yeah, thank you.
Is that on what's your Mount Rushmore of Rob Lowe movies before we get into anything else?
Jeez Louise. I got to go St. Elmo's Fire.
Yes, got to be
my very first movie, The Outsiders.
Great movie.
Right?
What a cast in that movie, by the way.
Unbelievable
It's
cast.
everybody.
That was the Mount Rushmore of young actors.
Yes. No, more than the Mount Rushmore. There weren't 4, there were like 40.
Yeah, there was a lot of us. The Austin Powers, we'll go with that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Solid.
Maybe Tommy Boy, a little comedy.
Personal favorite there.
Right?
Big guy in a little coat.
Love it.
Fat guy in a little coat.
Look at that. Not just a handsome face, you can say.
Look at this. Rob Lowe has created and stars in Unstable alongside your son, huh?
I know. What a dream to work with my boy. He was always a great writer all through school, all through college, and he and I together created this show where we play versions of ourselves. He started trolling me online like viciously, and it became a thing. Like people kind of liked it. It was news articles written about it, and it became such a thing that he said, "Dad, we should figure out a show based on that." And the result is the show. Well,
the series
it's on Netflix right now.
Yeah. Okay. So it's on Netflix on March 30th. Wait a minute.
No, it's
Wait a
on
minute.
now. It's
Wait a
on
minute.
now,
It's on
baby.
now.
By my calculations,
It's on now.
the New York Times, by the way, it's obnoxious.
I mean,
Comedy gold.
come on.
How that's pretty.
Well,
good.
here's what's great about
Yes.
it. It's like I continue to have to father him, and he calls me and goes, "Dad, I read the New York Times, so that's like good, right?" I was like, "John Owen, let me tell you something. You might go another 20 years in your career before you get another headline like that. Yes, that is good."
So
Rob, how are you and your son, how are you guys alike and how are you guys different? What's been this process for you guys working together, father and son relationship-wise?
Well, the good news is we're very, very different people, and that's the basis for the show. But we also have the same kind of taste and brain. So as having him as a executive producer, it's great because I know he can handle all kinds of responsibilities on the show, and I know that he's got my back and that we have the same taste. So it's really like having a fantastic partner.
I remember a show called Dr. Katz. It was a cartoon.
Oh yeah, is that Lovitz?
No, but it was, I think, Katz, right? Like, what's his name? But it wasn't
Yeah.
John Lovitz, right? But the idea was a brilliant idea because he has all these he's a shrink.
Yeah.
And he has all these stand-up comics come, and they're on his couch basically doing their stand-up routines.
Yeah.
And he also has a son on it, but it was based on himself as a younger guy, right?
yeah.
But this is actually you and your son's relationship, which is interesting, I think, in sports because we see now a lot of second and even third-generation athletes. Where's Bronny going to go to school? Bron wants to play with him, all that.
I'm so down for watching all of that. I'm obsessed with where Bronny's going to go and Charlie Woods. I mean, we're in a moment where we could have some amazing. We've always had second and third generation people, but right now it feels like it's like a draft. There's a good crop coming up.
Yeah, Rob, what's the advice that you've given your son in that regard and what you would give to the sons of those famous superstar athletes, like in terms of trying to make their own way, make their own name?
The one thing I give them is you can only be the new kid on the block once. So, it's like as you're having your moment, make sure your choices and your how you lead your life and the decisions that you make, know that they're going to have a consequence because people get introduced to you only once and they'll make an opinion. And once that opinion is made, it can be hard to change. So I try to tell them, if you're having the moment, like let's, do your thing. And my son's having that right now. And
because you came in as like you were in dramas as in St. Elmo's Fire and The Outsiders were like heavy dramas, right? And then
and I was a kid. I was like 18, 19, 20, and I didn't have anybody tell. I was making it up as I went along.
then you transitioned to
like, whatever.
So did you have the conscious choice? I want to do comedies now, or is that how people? Or is that like you?
That what happened was I hosted SNL for the first time, and Lorne Michaels, God bless him, took me under his wing, and he and Mike Myers, who was on the cast at that time, we had such a great relationship on SNL that Mike wrote Wayne's World. We did Wayne's World together. Right. Was the first one, and then on and on and on. But it was my foray into the SNL world that really started my comedy stuff. Yeah.
Now, Rob, I know you're a huge Colts fan.
Yes.
And our ESPN draft analyst, Todd McShay, came out with his latest mock. He had your team trading up with the Arizona Cardinals to the number 3 spot to take Florida quarterback Anthony Richardson. How do you feel about that?
I like that. There was obviously a lot of buzz yesterday going around about Lamar Jackson, and that feels like it would be too expensive for the Colts, I think. But, I mean, obviously that would be insane.
Oh, yeah, no question.
Insane to have him. But, yeah, I think that's a good pick. I mean, the Colts, as the quarterbacks go, so go the Colts.
Yeah.
Jim Irsay did an episode of Parks and Recreation.
Oh, that's right.
Right?
That's right, yeah.
So it was great. He opened the stadium up to us. We were in the writer's room on Parks and Rec, and I was like, I think I can get us in Lucas Oil Stadium. They're like, wow. I go, hang on. And so Jim was on, and we had Luck was there. He threw a great touchdown pass to Chris Pratt, who caught 6 of 6 passes, by the way. Pratt's a beast. So, yeah, I love Jimmy. He's a total character, and I love characters. And I love those Colts. Maybe this will be the year.
We teased you coming on the show by saying you were on the Lakers team plane back in the day. What was that like?
Well, I remember when they used to fly commercial. I flew commercial with the Lakers, and the captain, and he'll always be the captain to me, Kareem, it was the greatest move I ever saw. You'd get on first, and then to fit in all 7'4" of the captain, he just put a blanket over his entire body like a ghost. And just sit there as people would walk in. Completely covered with those like yellow, disgusting American Airlines blankets.
But it beats talking to all the people gawking at him, right?
Yeah, it was a baller move. Those were I loved that era of the NBA. And those are still my homies. Everybody who came up in that era. I mean, the league is obviously still amazing, but it's a very like everything's different today. And I think we're all fans of the music we grew up with, whatever. And that era, I was so blessed to have a literal courtside seat at. It was spectacular.
Oh, what a time.
Oh.
What a time.
Yeah, probably
I'm sure
any
you
era
got
in
some stories off here that we can have.
dude.
What a time.
Any era in basketball history, that's the one to be in the middle of.
Well, I mean,
the Showtime Lakers.
Don't you think?
Yeah, that's number one.
Showtime Lakers, Detroit Bad Boys, the rise, just starting of Michael.
But where would you want to be? You'd want to be in L.A. for Magic Johnson's Showtime Lakers. I mean,
Magic at that time with the Lakers, they saved the NBA.
They did.
Yeah.
They saved the
That's why there are
league.
TV shows and docs, and every time you turn
Unbelievable.
around and books being
I'm
written.
so down for season 2 of Showtime.
Oh, I can't wait.
So down.
Oh, yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
Winning time.
Winning time.
This is
It's
a
so
true
good.
story, Rob. I was doing afternoon drive in L.A. I had just read the book that the show was based on, and I thought to myself, I swear to you, I want to talk about this. I want someone to make this into a show. I just want to watch this show. Talked about it, whatever. The series comes out. I watched the first couple episodes. Oh, my God, I'm hooked,
Amazing.
right? So I look up an article on the guy who wrote it, and he said, I was listening to LA Sports Talk Radio, Max and Marcellus at the time. I swear to you.
Look at you taking
And he was
credit for
talking
winning
about
time.
this book. It worked.
Look at
All
Max.
you have to do when you're on in LA is talk about something that's good. If someone will make it into a show or a movie.
That's incredible, Max.
Yeah,
that you're
right.
taking credit for winning time.
Thank you.
It's unbelievable.
Like, you know how Jay does the humble brag about stuff?
Yeah, so this is your version of that.
humble brag.
Rob, before
I didn't
we
win a
let you go,
national
I gotta ask
title.
you this, because you're a Lakers fan. I'm a huge Lakers fan, too.
too.
I fell in love with the team in the era that you're talking about, Showtime. And so how are you feeling about our team this year? Because it feels like this is starting to come around at the right time.
100%. I mean, I think there were some moves we needed to make. It feels like get Rob, my doppelganger, Pelinka.
Yeah, right? Right, it's unreal.
Yeah. I think I could come in secretly for a week and run the Lakers and nobody would know the difference. And I may. But I feel like maybe it's too little too late, but we're going to find out. That's for sure.
Rob Lowe created and stars in Unstable alongside his son, John Owen Lowe. The series is streaming on Netflix.
Yes, it is.
Thank you for joining us.
Congrats on that series, too.
Congratulations.
Congrats. That's awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.